Guys, welcome back to the channel. You've probably seen the thumbnail and the title by now, and hopefully you're as excited for this as I am. This is the beginning of something very special for me and very special for my channel. I have the one and only Kyle Berkshire out here today, and we plugged this. You guys have seen on my Instagram, I posted something about it, and that starts today with me starting where I'm at today, and Kyle is going to take me, hopefully from now, to being able to be one of the longest hitters in the world. That to me is just insane, because not only am I doing something that I kind of have like thought about doing for a long time, but I have the #1 long driver in the world who's going to help me through this journey. So I'm going to talk to Kyle a little bit about what we're going to be doing and things that he's going to be working with me on. So let's get right into it. It's going to be super fun. If you haven't liked this video, subscribe to my channel. You're going to want to do that because you're not going to want to miss the things that we got coming. So thanks for being here. Let's get right into it.
Hey guys,
this is
how's
Kyle.
it going?
You guys know him. You've seen him all over the place.
So we're going to be working on some pretty important parameters today. I have 8 pulled up on the TrackMan here that we're going to be focusing on. The 2 top numbers are probably the most important numbers that we need to be looking at early on. It's going to be a much easier way to measure improvement: club speed and ball speed. You know, I think TIG is capable of getting very close to 140 right now with a long drive club. Our goal is, after about a certain period of training, probably 4 to 6 months, we want to see that number topping out at 145. Ball speed, we want that 215 plus eventually. And then the carry in total just obviously tells us how far the ball's carrying and running out. Spin axis and spin rate, these are 2 very important things in long drive that people don't really talk about because it's just not really that sexy, but it's really important. So spin axis is which way the ball's spinning. If it's spinning this way, it's gonna go that way. If it's spinning that way, it's gonna be going that way. So we want the spin axis to be very tight. We don't want the ball spinning sideways very much. It's gonna have side spin, it's gonna move side to side. The flight's gonna be inefficient and it's not gonna be going very far. We're gonna figure out what TIG's natural shot shape is at these kinds of speeds and just work with it. For me, it's a draw. For a lot of people on the long drive tour, it's a baby cut. But we're gonna be very ambiguous with the spin axis for right now. We're just gonna try to keep it close to 0 and just see what he prefers and what works best for him. Spin rate, we want spin rate right around 2,000 and maybe 1,800 once you get to these speeds. If you're not spinning the ball right, the ball just won't go that far. And then the last 2 are tactical and club path. We want him hitting up on the ball pretty substantially so that we can create a very high launch angle, very low spin. And club path is what way is the club traveling at impact. So if the club is going in and out, that's a positive pass. If the club is going out to in, that's a negative path. Now, we want to see probably a slightly positive path from him, so he's coming in and out, and the idea is to get him to release the toe, and we'll see what flight that looks like for him. And again, this is just the first workout we're doing, so this is a lot more about just seeing where his swing is and kind of just going from there. And it's going to be very very flexible because everybody's swing is different. Everyone generates speed in different ways. So we're going to be taking, these are baseline numbers. We're going to take these and then we're just going to consistently build, and we'll see where we are after a few months.
See, that's one of the coolest things to me is I think this is going to help me a lot with my golf game in general, because Kyle knows so much about the numbers and the science behind how to hit a golf ball well. So that is going to be one of the coolest things ever. Also, I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff with Kyle. Me, or all of us are in the near future, but his channel is going to be linked in the top of the description. So if you have not checked out his channel, it is unreal. Pure golf content, kind of like me. It's just more about golf. So let's get right into this. I'm excited. All right, guys, so I'm just going to start out hitting a couple balls with my driver and kind of see where we're at, and then I'm probably going to start move up to Kyle's.
And also, this is actually my play driver. It's a 45-inch driver, Epic Flash from Callaway. And the reason we're not hitting actually a 48-inch driver day, a long drive club, is because I want to establish a correlation with a club he's used to hitting lengthwise. This is a little longer than his driver, but it's still pretty close. Just so you can understand and feel the long drive patterns on a club he's already used to, and then we can start kind of branching out with a longer club and introducing new variables.
Alright guys, so we kind of talked about it before we got on camera, but basically each one of these videos we're going to kind of set a goal for ball speed, and today we're going to try to get to 190. I'm going to hit a couple more. I'm kind of averaging right around this 179 ball speed right now, just warming up.
What I want you to figure out right now is how to shape the ball with your hands. What I mean by that is I want you to be able to see, all right, that was plus 4.9, so now give me a negative 5.
I'm going to show you guys real quick. This is the iPad. Hopefully you can see that on the screen. Basically what Kyle wants me to work on is getting this number to a negative instead of a positive, and that means that I'm going to be hitting a draw instead of a fade, which is kind of my natural shot. But we just, like you guys heard him say, you just want to be able to work the ball both ways. You can see 125 club head, 181 ball speed with my driver, 335 total, which is kind of, I mean, that's kind of where I knew I was.
Yeah.
But
the reason we're trying to get him to work the ball both ways right now is so he can establish a feel. And so what a draw feels like, what a cut feels like, and also by doing both of those, he'll understand to him what a straight shot feels like. I don't want him to just be very good in one wind condition. I want him to be able to compete in all kinds of conditions. That's what's going to make him a very complete hitter. And I think it's a very underrated aspect of the sport. A true great long drive hitter can make a final 8 in a headwind, and then the next day can turn around and make a final 8 in a tailwind. You know, and so that's what we're teaching him right now, is how to be very malleable to shots. So he's not living and dying on a certain shot shape in a certain wind condition. So that's really important to lay that foundation right now.
That one actually drew a little bit.
Yep.
All right, guys, so I'm going to hit 3 more balls with my driver, and I'm going to try to go spin axis. I'm going to try to go negative, positive, negative.
Yeah, we're going to kind of try to keep the tilt of the axis under 10. So what that basically means is these are going to be very tight draws and cuts. These aren't going to be wipey fades or slices or snap hooks. Going negative, positive, negative, what that's going to do is he's going to get a correlation as to what feel he needs to have to hit a draw, what feel he needs to have to hit a cut. And these are going to be very important skills he can rely on later. You're only off by a couple degrees there, so it's not a big miss.
Okay.
But again, it gives you that feel. Now you know that if you want to be negative, you need to turn the hands over a little more.
All right, guys, I didn't really get to the negative. This is Kyle's play driver, and this is my play driver. That's a solid 3 inches.
Typically, we see about 1 mile an hour per extra inch of club speed. Per extra inch of club length. So, you know, he's right around, looks like about 125 now. He should be very close to 130. Maybe not immediately, because he does need probably a couple swings to get used to this longer club. But once he gets used to it and his swing normalizes again, he should be very close to 130. We'll definitely see something north of 190. We might be very close to 195. And additionally, keep in mind, guys, that these aren't optimal conditions. I would say these balls are probably about 3 or 4 miles an hour slower than what you'd expect from a long drive ball. And on top of that, my play driver is 3 inches shorter than a maximum length long drive club. So just to give you numbers to extrapolate, if we had everything ideal, long drive club, long drive balls, you can add probably 3 extra miles an hour ball speed just for the balls on their own, and probably about 5 miles an hour extra ball speed for a long drive club. So whatever numbers you're seeing with ball speed here, add about 8 miles an hour, and we'll be right at about where he would be if he's hitting a long drive club with long drive balls. And so with those numbers in mind, there's a couple guys that are north of 150 long drive. I don't know if he'll ever be able to get to that spot, but he doesn't need to, because he's got good enough ball flight and ball striking skills where he can be a top long driver sitting between about 144, 146. That's our goal, is to get the mid 140s. And if it does happen, he's able to creep closer to 150, that's awesome. But 145 club speed with center strike contact and good ball flight is going to be a very, very good long drive. That'll be a top 10 long driver, and that's kind of the goal here.
All right, guys, so I'm switching to Kyle's driver, and we're going to see what happens. Just look at the numbers, the difference.
Yeah,
187 ball speed, baby. 192.
There we go. There we go.
All right, guys, so I switched to Kyle's driver, and I'm pretty sure you can see it, but I've already, almost 130, and what do we say, 190?
190 was what I said we should for sure get to. I think we can get really close to 195. My goal for Tig here, I want to see him go 130 club, 195 ball. I think that'd be a great start for our first session. If we can creep north of that, that's awesome. But that's kind of the benchmark right now, is in these weather conditions with these balls, 130 and 195 are the numbers we're looking for. And we'll just keep trying to build off of that. In addition, just to give you guys an idea, just so you know how much speed Tig needs to gain to be competitive in long drive. If he's in the high 130s right now with a long drive club and good golf balls, we need to get him to probably 140. That's the magic number. So he needs to gain right now to get to a place where he can cash checks and hang with the top guys. Well, maybe not the top guys, but be very competitive and fit right in. He needs to get 3 to 5 miles an hour faster club speed. And to become a top guy, so like a top 10, 15 guy, he probably needs to gain, I would say, right around 10 miles an hour club speed. We can definitely get him to that first tier. If we can get him to that second tier, that would be pretty awesome. So we're gonna see if we can get him there. There you go. There you go.
131 club head speed, 192 ball.
Anything your body tries to do, like maybe pushing back more on your foot, anything, just let it happen.
Okay.
And that's what I found to be the best way to generate speed for yourself. So anything you feel like you're doing extra, just let that happen. And I know you guys are very used to seeing Tig hit it straight and have great ball striking. That's going to go away very quickly in the next couple swings because he's going to be pushing speed. And when you do that, your consistency goes out the window. But that's very important to develop higher speeds and, more importantly, consistent higher speeds that you can control. So far, we're getting really close to 195.
194, baby.
So if these were really good golf balls right now, he would be very, very close to 200 miles an hour ball speed at the moment. And with a long drive club, he would be very close to 210. So that kind of gives you an idea of where he is right now compared to long drive. Gaining speed is a lot like building muscle in the gym. You don't show up, pump your biceps up for a few sets, and you walk out with biceps that are 3 inches bigger. It takes years and it takes months, and that's the reality about developing lasting speed at very high numbers.
All right, guys, so my goal is 195 ball speed. I've gotten 194.2 or something, so I'm just gonna keep hitting these, keep ripping these, and hopefully my body gets a little looser, and see if we can get there.
And regardless of whether or not he hits this number, it's going to be a very productive session for him because he's already training his system to swing at a higher percentage of his max. He just hit 130 club speed. He is moving the club fast enough to get to this number now. He just needs to square one up.
What's the most amount of balls you hit in one day?
Most I've ever hit in one day is right around probably 1,400.
1,400 balls Kyle hit in one day.
That's typically before Worlds. I'm trying to kind of harden my body up because Worlds is a 10-day long tournament. You'll probably hit 1,000 to 2,000 balls in 1 week at Worlds. Me and my coach Bobby Peterson, when we were gearing up for it last year, we peaked out. We were hitting 500 to 800 balls a day, and we had a couple days where we pushed it to almost 1,500. I was probably consuming 6,000 to 8,000 calories a day every day for those 2 to 3 weeks leading up to the event, and I was losing weight. And that just kind of goes to show the extremes we go to. I think that made a very big difference for me. I was able to keep really hitting the ball hard. I was still out there in the final 8 between sets hitting, and I think that made a big time difference in my success out there. He's only going to hit a few more because, again, we don't want him to push too hard, but ideally we do want to build him up to a place where he's able to hit at least a couple hundred. His sticking point is 194. He's right there. Let's see if we can get him to 195.
194, baby!
Woo. 130 club speed on the dot, 194.3. He is,
look at that,
less than a mile an hour away.
If you can see it, 194.3, 130 club head speed. I mean, I'm right there.
And a lot of the times, especially midsummer of last year, our goal was to actually pass out. I'm not even kidding. What we would do, we would have a chair pulled up, and it'd be 100 degrees, and to push myself, we would hit to the point where I was starting to see spots. And at that point, we would put a chair right to my side, so that when I knew I was starting to give out, I would sit down before I passed out. I can hear you already running out of breath. Ooh, that sounded strong.
Oh, 194.4.
Nope.
195.8. I did it. Yes.
That's good stuff, man.
It is awesome. Guys, I did not hit that good, but 195.8 ball speed. The club head speed did not read. My goal today was 195 ball speed, and I've done that. Okay, like I said a second ago, how does somebody come out here and hit 400 balls in one day? at high speeds. That just goes to show you, I mean, how incredible Kyle really is. But yeah, I hit my goal for today, which was 195 ball speed with just a regular driver and range balls. So guys, that's gonna be it for me today, but I'm gonna sit here and watch Kyle hit for a little bit, show you his numbers so you can see a comparison of him and me. So let's jump right into that. He's 137 club head speed, 198.3 ball speed, just you know, right starting off. We're out here at Frisco Lakes today, and we are on the opposite side of the range. I wasn't going to touch the people on the other side, but Kyle, he can't really swing. He swung, his club head speed was 137 there, and his ball speed was 202.
If we get it up to 140, it's going to hit them. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to stick with my play driver swing. Kind of show you guys kind of how I swing on the course. But just so the reference applies, I probably would get to about, with these balls on this day with this play driver, right about 208 to 210. And so it kind of gives you guys an idea of where he is in comparison to myself.
Yeah.
I'm telling you guys, 195.6, I think he got to, 0.8.
Almost 196.
That's a big number with these balls at this club. He's in a position right now where in the bottom end of speed, but in the upper end of ball striking. So he would be able to be competitive. And I think he could get through a couple rounds right now. If he can gain anywhere close to 5 or 6, he will be able to possibly start making final 8s. The ultimate goal, as we said, if we can get him about 7 to 8 more miles an hour of club speed, he will be probably very potentially someone who can be a top 15 long driver. And obviously when you're already north of 130, close to 140, that 7 to 8 miles an hour club speed is a massive gain.
That's awesome. That's just cool to hear.
I'll kind of go over my play swing here. So I like to play the ball a little bit forward of my stance here so that I can consistently hit the ball as the club pad is moving to the left. So it gives me a pull cut.
So you're trying to
get
a pull
cut. And I have a slightly weaker grip so that I can make sure the face holds off. And it results in a very predictable pull cut. See if we can hit a couple here.
Gosh, that just looks so good. And it's crazy that you're swinging it that fast and it just looks so effortless.
For me to make 136 look fairly effortless, I had to go through a very, very substantial process of training my body to swing fast just like he just did.
That's cool because I feel like it's gonna help my long game on the course as well as this journey to long drive. The consistency that Kyle has with this speed is just incredible.
That's how you become the best at something, is you can never be satisfied with where you currently are. If you're ever satisfied, you stop growing. And you're either doing two things in life. You're growing or you're decaying. And if you don't know that you're growing, then you're decaying. So you always have to be pushing those boundaries to continue to be great and to get better.
Guys, that's a good word, okay? Apply that to your everyday life, not just your golf career, because that's huge. If you're not growing, then you're essentially moving backwards. If you haven't subscribed to Kyle's channel, he's just, there's some really cool things that he's adding to his story and his journey in golf. So you're gonna want to go check his channel out. This has been awesome. And if you haven't liked or subscribed, do that, because we're gonna do these bi-weekly, and it's gonna go back and forth between me and Kyle's channels. And you're gonna see something different on each channel. So make sure and subscribe to both of us. And this has been awesome.
Teaching this stuff gives me a better understanding of what I'm doing myself. And you know, I think this might be something you guys would be curious to see, the difference between my play swing and my long drive swing. I can't demonstrate my long drive swing right now, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But essentially, there's pretty substantial differences. So my play swing, as I explained, I have a still very, very strong grip, to be clear, but this is my long drive grip, and that's my play grip. It's still very strong, but very significant difference. And by keeping the hands more on top of the club, I can hold it off. So by having the ball forward, like literally almost off my lead instep, I can make sure the club is moving this way with the face open, so it's a pull cut and it's a very predictable. It does two things. I know it's going to start left of the target line. I know it's going to work left to right. When you know those two things, you can aim away from trouble and you can play to a safe miss. And long drive is completely different. What I'll do, I'll grip very, very strong, keep my hand under the club, and I will put the ball more off my instep because I want to catch the ball. I play a draw with my long drive club. So I want to catch the club coming from the right, not going this way, but going that way. So it's a high towering draw. So I put the ball further back in my stance, and I'll close my stance to help try to get that club trailing more from the inside so I can release the hands. And then I come right about here, I turn the hands over, and it's a very high angle of attack and a very soft draw. And it gives me a lot of speed and goes far. The difference really is that the long drive swing, I don't really know where the ball's going as much, but I know where it's going enough of the time for it to be accurate enough. to be very, very good and a very big weapon for me. In my play swing, I have to know much more predictably where it's going, so I can play with it, and so that I can play away from trouble, and so that I can, know that the spread's gonna be a little bit tighter, so that I'm not hitting the ball OB. I can live with being in trees. I can live with being in bad rough. I can't hit the ball OB.
Yeah.
I can't hit the ball in horrible spots, but I can miss the fairway. So this isn't necessarily geared towards being the most accurate in the world, because the faster your speeds are, the harder it's going to be accurate. That's just a fact of physics. But if you're accurate enough, it's okay to be in the rough if you hit it this far. It really is, statistically speaking. And that's really the goal, is just to have this be something where I'm not hitting it into yards, quite frankly.
Yeah.
That's really all we're trying to do here. And that's enough at this speed to be making it very effective.
Guys, that is going to wrap it up for today's video. My goal coming into this, which me and Kyle set, was 195 ball speed, and I actually exceeded that by almost a mile an hour, almost 1 mile per hour. My club head speed was right around 129, 130. I even had a couple 132s in there with Kyle's play driver. So this video, the goal of this video was just kind of get some base numbers, and I think we did really good with that. I think that, I feel really good about where I'm at moving forward, and then like with what Kyle knows, and he's going to keep teaching me that. I think we're actually going to really get somewhere. I know that I'm super excited to be able to show you guys this journey that I'm kind of starting here, this new part that I'm adding to my story with Kyle here, and I'm super excited about it. So we're going to see you guys back on my channel with this series in probably 2 weeks. This video is going up before then, but the next time you see me training for long drive is going to be on Kyle's channel. So we're going to go back and forth like I said earlier, but this has been a great day. I feel really confident about where I'm starting out at, and it's just up from here. It really is. So,
absolutely. Dude,
let's get it. Okay, this is going to be fun, okay? I love all you guys. I'll be seeing you real soon in my next video, probably coming up on Saturday. It might be an 18-hole vlog. I don't know yet, but I'll be seeing you there. Love you guys. Peace out.